Okay, my online learners, let me take you into the innate immune system. So we talk about 3 lines of defense in the body. The first one is keep it out. The second one is if it gets in, just randomly destroy it. And then the third one is prime up your system and then specifically track down that antigen, that specific pathogen, and destroy it then. So let's first off look at barriers to the pathogens are devices to keep it out. This is the first line of defense. In your textbook, it talks about chemical, mechanical, chemical, or biological. So pretty much think of what's on your body to keep things out. Okay, first off, mechanical barriers. So you're looking at the skin, which keeps everything out. And then if you think about your, the hair in your nose will collect things. Mucus helps trap things. You have mucous membranes, and the mucus will help trap it, and it's all sticky. You have cilia in your throat, which helps move things back up. So if we skim it, we've got skin, we've got the the outer epidermis, if you remember correctly, is tough and dead. Then we talk about hair, which is to keep the pathogens out. Mucous membranes they get caught, and your mucous membranes are in your respiratory, your gastrointestinal, your urinary, and reproductive tract. They're slimy and sticky, so things will get caught, and then the cilia will move it back up, or you can sneeze and cough. So that's examples of mechanical barriers. Next, there are chemical barriers. And these are chemicals that destroy pathogens. So sweat, yes, your body has, the sweat is a little bit salty, which isn't good for bacteria. Mucus is a little sticky. Your tears have enzymes in it, which helps break things down. Your saliva also has enzymes to help break things down. And breast milk also has a microbial substance, usually the enzyme lysosome, and it kills bacteria. And you also sweat, a slightly acidic layer on the top of your skin. Your openings are acidic, which will help disrupt the bacterial membrane. Okay, so put those as your chemical barriers. Then next we look at our biological barriers. Our biological barriers are living things that protect our body. And one thing here is you've got on your skin, you've got bacteria that normally live there, and they, interestingly enough, will compete against the hazardous stuff to keep yourself healthy. And you may not know that it's there until you've taken antibiotics or you've changed the pH of your body somehow. The bacteria on your skin helps control the pathogenic bacteria. Good. Those are all the barriers. That is the first line of defense, which is basically keep things out. The second line of defense we're looking at is inflammation, but instead of going into it, I will let you watch the video on inflammation and sum it up, and then you can summarize it up. I want to look at something called the complement system. The complement system is a system of molecules that come together and will basically destroy, usually, bacteria. So all these molecules are made in the liver, and they're floating around the body ready to be activated. And here's a video which has very complicated, the vocabulary is very complicated, but the pictures are really neat. So let's take a second and look at the pictures. Starting a ways in at 25 seconds. And again, as I say, the terminology is very confusing. Here is our cell membrane. You can tell by these little phospholipid heads sticking out. And these squirrely things are the proteins.
CD20, a B-cell surface antigen, appears to be an ideal target for therapeutic monoclonal antibodies. Currently approved anti-CD20 antibodies are thought...
Okay, that's pretty confusing. But basically, antibodies will start the trigger.
attracting the first complement component.
And then once the antibodies are triggering, the complementary components, which is a group of 20 different proteins, will come together.
Sequential activation of the remaining complement components may induce formation of the membrane attack complex, or MAC.
And isn't this interesting? So what happens here is these proteins come together and make a hole, which basically pokes a hole in the side of the bacteria. And as a result of that, water will get in and it will cause the cell to burst or lyse. Very cool how that works. So that is our complementary system, the complement cascade. So all the parts come together, and through a cascade series, they'll poke a hole in the bacteria and the bacteria will then die. If we're following along on the note sheet, we talked about the complement cascade. Next process I want to look at is phagocytosis. And phagocytosis is the overall attacking of white blood cells of bacteria. Again, another cool video. The terminology is a lot, but the pictures are really cool. So before we get it started, let me tell you what we've got here. Here are our bacteria. And so here are the bacteria, and these blobs here are the white blood cells. I don't have the sound on because it's a lot of detail, but I can tell you what's going on. So here's the white blood cells starting to attack the bacteria. Notice how it goes around and creates little vesicles or vacuoles. And you can see sort of here, there's a vacuole being taken in. And all the bacteria now is in little vacuoles inside the white blood cell. Then there are those lysosomes that we talked about that will fuse with the vacuoles. And the lysosomes have digestive enzymes, and they will break down the bacteria parts and recycle things that are needed. Okay? And the two types of white blood cells do this. One called a neutrophil, and the other is called a macrophage. So here's a macrophage. Oh, this is a neutrophil. So again, you're showing the same thing, which is basically just a white cell eating a bacteria. Now, these white cells will eat anything that is seen as foreign, and it will create pus if there's too many of them. So that's the initial discussion of the innate immune system. Here is a video that will give you a little more detail and summarize it nicely. And then you can make sure you understand the parts of the innate system. So the first line of defense is barriers to keep it out. And the second are these components. Make sure you know what a macrophage, a neutrophil, a complement protein, and a dendritic cell is. And they can all be found in this video here. Now, once you get to minute 6.19, stop, because you are done the innate immune system, and we will start to look at the adaptive immune system, which is so exciting. It's a whole new video. Okay, take care.